Hello Wargamers. Today just a quick update on some stuff that we found out from Warhammer Fest. Now if you haven't seen the new Tau Barracuda AX5-2, I would definitely recommend checking that out. That's one of the many models that was showcased at Warhammer Fest, and I did a whole video talking about it, which you can find in the description below. We did get a little bit better look at it from some people taking pictures there. It looks very thin, very, from top to bottom, looks very thin and dynamic, which I like, so that's great news. But on to the new stuff. Basically, there are three big things coming out for Tau aside from the new Barracuda, and we should all be very excited about it. The first is a new Imperial Armor. The Fires of Cyraxus is going to be Tau versus Imperium, and so that should have rules for Supremacy Armor, the Arvana, the Yvara, probably the new Barracuda, and anything else that they want to throw in there. So that will be a great addition to your library if you have any of those models. But in addition to the new book, there's also going to be two new weapon systems for the Supremacy Armor, which is probably one of the cooler things about this upcoming book. We've already gotten a look at some rules for the other suits, but we don't have any idea of the rules for these two new weapon systems for the Supremacy Armor, but they both look pretty cool. The first one is a heavy rail cannon array. Now, originally when I saw this, I thought, well, of course it's a railgun, but I thought it also had a missile battery on the side of it. But that's really just looks like it's just some sort of power supply, some sort of battery. So really not a missile supply, not a missile thing at all. It's just one giant railgun. So I'm guessing that's gonna be strength D, and presumably it is gonna have some sort of very large footprint, right? Being just strength D, a single shot strength D on its own wouldn't really be sufficient to be a weapon at this magnitude. So I'm assuming it's going to be a bit larger than that. But looking at the pictures, it looks like it has a really nice detail to it. In contrast to the original Supremacy armaments, it doesn't take up the entirety of the back of the suit, which is a little different than I anticipated. I had expected I had expected that new weapon systems would take up the entirety of the back of the suit and not kind of rest on the shoulders like these ones do. But I think it looks really nice. It makes it seem a little bit less clunky, but I don't know. The chest piece for this suit is so massive that I wouldn't be opposed to them having just kind of used up that space a little bit more too. That would have looked nice too, but really not complaining. This looks awesome. Super excited to see what the rules are for it, and is really more of something that I had anticipated from Tau. So I'm excited for that. And if I do ever end up getting a Supremacy Armor, it'd probably be with a weapon system like that. The second one is the Nexus Meteor missile system, which at first I had assumed was a fusion variant based on the profile, just looking at the side. But once you get a look at the front of it, clearly not fusion. So that's pretty interesting. I have no idea what this could do. You might think that it produces a large volume of missiles, but really doesn't look like that. I would expect something more like the missiles on a Storm Surge for a high volume battery. But so this is probably going to be several large footprint, high strength missiles is my guess. But yeah, very, very interesting. Not sure what's gonna happen with that, but it'll be interesting to find out. So yeah, new Imperial Armor book, two new Supremacy Armor weapon systems. Pretty exciting stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and of course, happy wargaming.